So you told me you love rhinoplasty.
I do love rhinoplasties. You know, for me, rhinoplasty is the one procedure that separates the men from the boys in plastic surgery. It's the one procedure that shows your artistic ability. And so in rhinoplasty, it's the longest learning curve. It's the most detail-oriented. It's the most artistic surgery we do. And so if you're at the top of your game and you're proud of what you do, I do a lot of rhinoplasties, and I just love it because it's in the center of their face. And a rhinoplasty can change someone's life. You know, most people are concerned that it'll change the way they look, and it couldn't be farther from the truth. It only enhances their look. In other words, if somebody has a hump on their nose or a wide nose, that takes away from the beauty of their face. If you can create a beautiful nose that just blends in with their face, that makes their whole face look more attractive. So you can imagine from a surgeon's perspective, if you're looking at someone that you did their nose and you hit a home run on them and their nose looks perfect and they're happy and you're happy, that's really fun.
And what is perfection in your world? One that is not noticeable? One that mimics natural, human nature noses?
Well, when you look at noses, my philosophy towards noses, I remove the deformities or the problems with someone's nose. So they're left with a nose that's their nose that fits their face, but just doesn't have the hump and doesn't have the wideness or the bulbous tip or move to the side or something. So if I can remove those things as if you could just Photoshop it, that's what I'm looking to do with someone's nose. So ultimately, if you look at all my noses, you go online, you see my noses, they're all going to look different. But the main thing is they should look like they fit that person's face. They should look like the nose that they should have been born with.
What should you ask of a surgeon that's going to do this? You compared it, I think, in our green room to golf.
Yes.
So elaborate on that.
Well, the reason I said is golf takes so long to learn, but once you're good at it, you have to keep practicing. But
you have to keep doing it.
Yeah, but you want to ask, do they do a lot of noses? You want to know how many noses they have. You want to look at their noses and look at their photo gallery, because if they're going to show you a photo gallery, they're showing you some of their best results. And if their art isn't compatible to your art, when you look at their nose and you're saying, God, I don't really like that nose. I wouldn't be happy with that. Then that's the wrong surgeon for you. So you want someone who's experienced at doing a lot of noses, and you want to like their noses that you see.
We've had a lot of plastic surgeons on the show over the years, and I think the public doesn't realize how many surgeons don't like doing noses. They don't like doing rhinoplasty.
Right.
That it's for them almost like a risky procedure that they send out.
Well,
is it because it is so technically demanding or so artistic?
It takes a lot of skill sets to be good at rhinoplasty. And if you never develop those skill sets and you don't get good at rhinoplasties, you get an unhappy patient. And so you really want to go to someone who's experienced and likes doing them.
So if you don't like your nose, come in for a consult.
Perfect.
Could you give them a pretty good idea of what their nose is going to look like?
I tend to show them, I don't like to do the photo imaging, but I'll show them people who have similar noses that have been done, so they get the best idea that way.